Welcome to this ATA Insights webinar. Thank you for your ongoing interest and support of our webinar program. Today's session will begin in 2 minutes. ATA Insights Webinars is an online platform for the dissemination of professional renewable energy knowledge across international borders. Our aim is to democratize access to information, for innovation to spread faster, and to make the industry more competitive. And we do this through our online sessions, open to all our members. Every year, we do more than 100 sessions with over 250 speakers, 50,000 attendees from more than 50 countries. To participate in the session today, use the chat on the right-hand side to introduce yourself, your company, and where you're joining from. Under the screen, you will find the Q&A box, where you can send your questions for the speakers. We will get to as many as we can today. We're recording this session, and we will send you a link to the materials in a few days. Please consider supporting our content creation for the webinar program. Contact us on the email on screen. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're connecting from. And thank you so much for joining today's webinar, Optimizing Revenue Models in Large-Scale Energy Storage in Poland. My name is Christina Galan from ATA Insights and RedMat Events, and I will be your moderator for the session today. I have a couple of housekeeping rules before we start this session, but in the meantime, as we said in the video, please let us know a little bit about you, where you're from, what's your line of work, and why are you interested in this webinar? You have the chat for any comments you would like to add. But if you have any specific questions you would like to ask to our panelists, please go to the section of Q&A below if you are on Zoom. If you are on YouTube, you do have a chat for both things. You can introduce yourselves, let us know where you're from, share anything you would like to share. And also, if you have any Q&A, our tech department will send us the questions directly to us. Also, this session is being recorded right now, and we will send all the approved materials by our speakers in a couple of days. So calculate around Friday or Monday next week. Then we're going to start with, this is the first webinar that we have for our RedMat event of storage in Poland. That's going to take place the 26th and 27th of February in Warsaw. So if you have any questions about our event, let us know. We're launching today, so we're launching with a webinar, big time. And yeah, and we're waiting to hear all your questions and comments about our event. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our panelists today. We're going to start with Antonio Montoto, Head of Storage from Greenvolt Power. He's going to set the tone, give us a bit of remarks regarding the market in Poland and how he sees it. And then we're going to move on to Sergio Sáenz, Head of ATA Storage from ATA Renewables, who's going to go a little bit more in depth into the optimization of revenue models. So without further ado, I'm going to ask my colleague Maria if she could share her screen. I'm going to stop sharing mine because we have Antonio here. Antonio, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
From Poland, actually. You're in Warsaw?
No, I'm really in a place about 2 hours from Warsaw, in Solvet.
All right. Well, what a better place to do a webinar about Poland and Poland.
Yes, I suppose it's a good place for doing this.
Definitely. So thank you so much for being here today. The floor is yours. And yeah, and if you need anything, just let us know.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, ATA, for the invitation to this webinar. And thank you, all the people who subscribe to see the content. Okay. Yes, we prepared some supportive figures in this very short presentation. The idea is only presenting some guidelines about the revenue models in Poland, but I hope that with the support also of Sergio and question from the viewers, we can try to have an interesting chat today. First, only a very quick presentation about myself and especially about Greenvolt, Greenvolt Power. I work at the head of storage in Greenvolt Power. Greenvolt Power is a multinational company that is based in Lisbon, but with a huge presence in Poland, because one of the key steps in the growth of the company was the joining of two companies, one from Portugal and one from Poland, that was Viridium, and we formed the core of Greenvolt. And inside Greenvolt Power is the one focused in utility scale. Understand utility scale not in a size level, but in the operability connected to the grid, in the market mechanisms, and it working directly in a grid connected way. You can see very quickly that we have a project in Europe, in the United States, also in Japan. I'm mainly focused in wind, solar, and of course in storage. I'm only remarking that, especially in storage, we have a big success in the past year capacity market, where we were awarded with about 1.2 gigawatt of capacity secure power for the capacity auction of the 20 and 28. And the idea is, of course, we are in the construction of the first facilities, about 400 megawatt, and in the next one will be done next year. Then the point is that we are trying to be a very relevant player in storage for Europe in the next 5 years. If going to the Polish case, to the next slide, Poland is, as everybody I suppose know, it's a very dynamic economy with an impressive growing in the past 20 years, but especially in the past 5, with a lot of new industries are growing the energy demand. And at the same time, Poland is a country very committed with the objective of reducing emission as soon as possible in the 30, trying to get the lowest possible, and in the 40 trying to get the zero emission if possible. And important to remark that this is very independent of the government that could be in any moment, because 3 different governments have been in the command in the country since this plan started, and every of them have been reinforcing the previous one with more rules to make more easy to integrate solar, to integrate wind, and to make more strength and renewable vector in the energy pool. And you can see here, currently in 20 and 24, the presence of the coal and lignite generation is yet very important and for Poland. In fact, Poland is relatively to the country, is the country with higher consumption from fossil fuel, from coal and lignite. This comes from a very strong structure in generation from these sources from the past 30 years. But there is a plan to reduce this drastically in the next 10 years, with the objective of trying to keep out in the 20 and 40. But at this moment, you can see it's half of the energy generation, or the power energy generation, come from these sources, especially during the winter time, where the solar and wind is sometimes there is a lack of resources, and it's mandatory a reliable source for heating and for the critical services of the country. But for this reason, the transition of the energy pool in Poland is especially interesting, because the jump in the next 20 years will change completely the equilibrium. You can see solar is now a success here in Poland. With I put here 20 gigawatt, but really some sources are considering more than 25, 26 gigawatt, because there is a lot of solar behind the meter. There is sort of solar that is out of the radar of the monitoring, and in general, Polish authorities in all levels have tried to support this sort of a scheme, because it's very reliable and reduce the dependence also in the grid stability. Also, wind It's important in west, but the idea is to strengthen a bit the onshore and especially the offshore, where the main energy companies in the country, as PGE or Tauron and some others, present very ambitious plans to develop offshore facilities because they have the advantage of less dependence of the season. There is a generation more stable for all the year, and this is can be a complement to the very good complement to the stability. But also there is a nuclear plans. There is some conversation with the key technological providers from North America and also Korea, Japan. The idea is to achieve about between 2-3 gigawatt in the next 15 years, and having at the end a pool of about less than 10 gigawatt in the next 20 years from nuclear, and replacing in a very reliable way the lack of coal and lignite. The point is that the energy transition here is very aggressive, and in this movement, the business where I am more focused, the storage, is a bit have a lot of advantage to be an agent for the stability. For instance, the stability of the solar wind fits with the real demand early along the year. The grid curtailment that some grid curtailment happened in the past 2 years because of the overproduction in some regarding the demand in some hours, especially in April, September. But the idea is trying to move this grid constraint into energy shifting to hours where the demand could absorb this overproduction. In the hybridization is a real possibility now in Poland, and with the capex reduction, the battery, and also other energy storage technologies improvement, this will be absolutely needed. We will see in the next slide. And also regarding the power demand now in Poland, there are 25 gigawatt of power demand. And for 25 gigawatt, there are about less than 80 gigawatt of power source. I think the energy consumption yearly is about 175 gigawatt hours, I think. Terawatt hours, sorry. But the idea is that Poland will increase the production by 10% in the next year. Then we can expect that in the 20 and 40, we can be achieving 35 to 40 gigawatt of demand. And also, the diversification of the energy sources will double the installed power. We will pass from about 80 gigawatt to about 140, 150 gigawatt, because as you know, this power will be covering different profiles of generation, different profile of consumption, and there will be a trending to more distributed and more focused in different technology sources. Okay, then it's very interesting. If we can go to the next slide, the market mechanisms that will be better disclosed by Sergio after. In Poland, in my opinion, is a very good example of a very canonic regarding what is will be done in all European Union in the next years, because in Poland there is a day ahead and intraday energy markets that are trading in open platforms that are operated by the key agent, the historic agent of Poland, and agent that come from all other Europe markets, like could be EPEX or Nord Pool. It's very dynamic. The intraday market is becoming more important every year, because with the distribute energy generation is is more difficult to feed the real available energy with power, with the demand in every moment, that it will be increasing. Also, ancillary markets are transitioning in Poland into the European standards. The Picasso standard will be is under deployed, will be supposedly achieved in the second part of next year, but now there is an open and living ancillary service market for frequency market, IFRR, NFRR and RR. And they are now following a very, very similar trending to the achieve on next year. And by the moment, it's not too much distribute generation can achieve. It's very concentrated in the historical generation company by the moment, but will be more and more dynamic. Also, FCR market is relatively small in Poland because it's 170 megawatt daily. It's relatively small, but for batteries will be a good third revenues entry. Okay, and capacity market is the one who have been very popular in the past year. Capacity market in Poland is in some aspect is very similar to the one in UK, and they have the same philosophy behind not securing the minimum power supply in critical periods. For instance, because there is a lack or unexpected resource unavailability, etc. And he works in T1's auction and T4 auction. Sorry, put T5. But the idea is the T1 is the one who is doing. In fact, the T1 can be sometimes split in two periods because there is a T1 for the yearly capacity auction and another T1 for the covering some correction between the first auction and the real that the government will need. Okay, and the T5 is the one who is with 4 years in advance and is the one who is applying a lot of storage, a lot of alternative energy and a lot of agents, and is the one who is supporting also the deployment of some renewables energies. Okay, we will talk about this a bit more in part of the presentation. And I want to remark that Poland, this is my personal experience, but it's the opinion of everybody I have been talking with, is very stable and very serious market regarding the mechanisms they present. They are fully transparent and they have a lot of open info, and a lot of them is translated to English also, where you can check the key detail of these markets. And this is the reason that now we achieve more than 20 gigawatt in PV, because it's very easy and it's not the more profitable market in Europe in the short term, but it's one of the more stable in the medium and long term. And this in PV is one of the key factor to decide an investment. Okay, if, we can go to the next slide, please. Yes, I want to remark one important detail. This how to say, very a bit subjective, but for me it's very interesting. The latest expectation about the mean energy price in Poland is very stable. Despite in the past years, the idea was that the price reduce and reduce and reduce every year. In Poland, because of this very aggressive transition, it's expected that the price will be up and down between the 80 euros per kilowatt hour with a very slight reduction over the time. But this doesn't translate into the price of the solar or wind, because solar or wind is focusing a time where the generation will increase with the energy deployment, the energy facilities deployment. Then the capture price from solar and wind will be reduced in the climb of reduction. The reduction rate will be higher than the one from the mean price. This is very, very interesting, because despite a solar facility could win less every year because of the average price they can achieve, with a dispatchability solution, the volatility to the higher price per day also increase year to year. Then the famous duck curve here is not so aggressive like in countries with a lot of sun, but it's a very constant along the years. Then having a solution who converge in a hybridization between the solar, especially, and a storage solution will be more and more profitable every year relative to the energy price. Then, as I mentioned, I think that nobody need to come to Poland to invest in facilities thinking in a lot of money in the short term. But it's a very secure investment and with a very secure condition to do this. And this is a demonstration, okay? Also, the wind, of course, have a lower capture price, but hybridization with wind in this case is how to say more difficult, to levelize with the capture price regarding the storage. It's not so natural. But in any case, of course, also will be very interesting. Okay? If we can jump to the next, please. Another thing I want to remark that every time I talk about this is people consider very interesting is the cable pulling law. In Poland, there is a very ambitious policy about more connected energy into the grid, but at the same time, the grid structure needs to be improved. Now there is a strong grid infrastructure in high voltage, more in 400 kilovolt than in 220 kilovolts, but not enough to absorb all the power that need to be connected in the next years. There will be about 5 to 10 years of transition now, where the PCE and public need to invest in increasing the capacity to absorb the power. Meanwhile, to focus in a more dispatchable energy and to focus in better use of the connection point, increase the utilization hours for every connection point, the government or the parliament, approved the cable pulling law that led you to join renewable facilities in the same point, overpowering the connection, while you could respect the maximum power in the point of interconnection. At the end, is approved a hybridization with a very short approbation process. You don't need to repeat the same that you did, for instance, to connect at the PV or the wind. You don't need to repeat the same approbation, but only a short way, excluding the grid connection permit. And you can connect an unlimited number of energy sources while they respect the maximum power in the point through a certified software, a certified energy management system. What this means? This means that, for instance, if you are owner of a PV installation and you are owner of a POI grid connection or grid connection authorization, you can analyze new business case based on including more facilities. This is especially important for the battery system because they are paving the way to make more easy hybridization between PV and BESS. Okay, and the only important thing that you need to take into account what is the scheme that where the main facility is working, because if the PV, for instance, or the wind is working with a subsidy, the new facilities can conflict with this. They have independent metering points. In fact, they can also be for different owners. You can have different ownership behind the POI and different business case, but you can take any sort of advantage of these new facilities regarding any sort of subsidy scheme. Okay? Or you can use this to increase the energy production from this metering point. But for facilities who doesn't have any kind of subsidy or the subsidy is full complementary with this, is very, very interesting. And from my point of view, this is so common sense rule that is very surprising that it's not full deployed in all Europe. And because I think it's the trending to follow. For instance, I come from Spain, and in Spain this is also allowed, but the way is by far more difficult to achieve. And this is the natural way to do. And my company, Greenvolt Power, we are focusing a lot on this scheme to analyze the opportunities that will come from this. Okay, I want to remark here that this sort of a scheme can participate also in capacity market, but this year the capacity market, as we mentioned later, have reviewed to make a levelize the rating factor regarding the technology that are connected in the moment they start to make the services. Okay. If you can go to the next, please. Yes, going to the T4, to the capacity auction. Sorry, because previously I said T5 is the T4. So okay. The price on this year is you know that the mechanisms is follow along the year several steps. In January, you need to start presenting the certification of your facilities to participate in the yearly auction. From that moment, there are several steps until April, May, when you are pre-approved. After there's the condition in September, you need to secure, and some conditions are settled. In this year, there was a draft or about the rating of the BESS to 48. Finally, the rating of the battery has been 61. This means that from a 100 megawatt nameplate facility, you will obtain 61 megawatt to participate in the capacity auction. Also, the upper limit this year in the case that it was under auctioned is 488 zlotys. That is a relatively high amount regarding other years. But the capacity presented this year is 5.4 gigawatt. That is lower relating to other years. One of the reasons of this amount to be presented in capacity auction this year is because the coal program to be retired from capacity scheme has been delayed for some years until 20 and 28. Then it's led the Polish authorities to plan the capacity auction in a less aggressive way and saving some budget. Okay. And my opinion, and this is my personal opinion on this, is that if the companies who have presented to the capacity auction this year, if there's no too much auction for other markets from, for instance, from interconnection or internally or from new gas facilities. In fact, with this number, with 61 rating, they can achieve a number upper the 200 zlotys per kilowatt. My opinion that is not a business. The authorities make also reasonable argument for this because at the end the capacity market need to preserve the stability, and if all that is in the capacity market connected is batteries, you are not full securing the capacity. No, it's an argument that need to be analyzed. But despite this derating, I think the business is yet very interesting for the batteries, especially because this is not an exclusive market, but it's absolutely compatible with some other. Then any company who is going to present batteries in this year, I think could do a good business also. In the next year, the capacity market will be probably in the same or higher level because the transition will make needed more power from district sources, because the new gas facilities can be done so quickly that could be the battery, solar, or wind. Because nuclear facilities, some of them were expected to be in, and at the end probably will be at the end of 30, a big margin to keep a price over the 400 zlotys per year. Then it will be very, very good business. Okay, I wanted to make this quick review. Then I don't know if you have any question after the speech from Sergio. I will be very happy to reply.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Antonio, for this intro and getting to know a little bit more about the different markets they are and kind of get a stronger feel of Poland's market. You do have a couple of questions in the Q&A box, so feel free to take a look at them if you need to. And in the meantime, I think, Sergio, you can start sharing your screen whenever you want to, which Sergio will do go a little bit more into depth into the market mechanisms and how to optimize revenue models. So Sergio, I see that you are all set whenever you're ready. Sergio, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, can you see
Okay,
my
there you
screen?
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much at Insights for organizing this interesting webinar about this emerging market, Poland. Yeah, today is gonna talk about how optimizing the revenues model in large scale in the storage projects in Poland. Yeah, Renewables is I'm going to be very brief with that. It's a technical engineering company with more than 19 years of experience in this sector. And we are a broader company with 18 sites already. Here you can see some figures. We have experience in more than 70 countries. We are a team of around 120 people. Offices in Spain, in Italy, in Colombia, Mexico, Chile, Australia. I'm pretty sure that soon we are going to open a new offices in Poland. Here you can see the references we have in projects, more than 500 projects around the world. Maybe we are in the 5 companies with more experience in renewable energy around the world. Yeah, this is an ATA Storage, is the division in ATA in charge of the battery storage projects and green hydrogen projects. I lead this department, ATA Storage. We started working in this department 4 years ago, and nowadays we are 16 people with senior engineers with more than 12, even 16 years of experience in this sector. Okay. The objective of today is to talk about how optimize revenues modeling in storage projects in Poland. Here you can see a brief summary. First, we are going to talk about the situation of the Polish market, the energy storage costs. Obviously, have a high influence in the business model, the profitability of the storage, and the conclusions about this analysis. No? Well, first of all, as you know, Polish markets have some particularities. Okay, Poland market is going to in a significant transformation. The country is addressing to reduce the production of coal, leading investment in renewables such as wind, solar, in order to aim to reduce the coal-based generation. Here you can see the generation sharing in 2023. Nowadays, in Poland, we have an important share with coal. But the idea of this plan, PAP 2040, is to increase the penetration of the renewables and to decrease the penetration of the coal. Here you can see an example of this objective. In order to have in 2040 at least increase the percentage of the renewable energy at least 50% and reduce the coal production from 70% in 2023 around 60% up to 30% more or less. Okay, this context is a good context in order we can create new challenges and opportunities for energy storage. Why? Because with penetration of renewable energy, we are going to have in the market price variability. We will increase with the penetration of the renewable. This will be provide greater relevance for battery storage projects. Another point is nowadays storage are enabled to participate in various marketing in Poland, and we have a capacity auction there. The last year we saw the T5 2028 capacity auction with 25% of projects. And the ongoing reduction of the batteries cost has to be important impact, obviously, in the business model in the future. Okay. If we talk about the best applications nowadays in Poland, we can divide in three divisions. Wholesale market. This market is managed by TGA. Here we have two options to participate in the day-ahead market, basically executing operation of trading, arbitrage, and we have the intraday market in order to adjust position in the real time. The product at the end of the day is the zlotys per megawatt hour, and the participation of the BES will be obviously to do arbitrage, procure energy when the price of the energy is very low, and to sell energy when the price of the energy is very high. The point is that how happen in the most of the countries, this service is not enough in order to be profitable. We need more applications, more services, and if we see the balancing market, here we can find a way to increase the revenue stream for the batteries. In this sense, it is a market organized by PCS. We have different applications related to the power reserve and related to the objective of avoid or mitigate frequency deviations. We have the frequency containment reserve with a response time less than 30 seconds. Is the first control acting here, because it needs to be a control very fast in order to maintain the frequency in a secure range in order to avoid triggers and something like that. In a second step, we have the secondary frequency regulation. It's normally a control in a closed loop. and the objective is to restore the nominal frequency. And later we have the tertiary frequency regulation. The objective is to restore the balance in the plant. At the end of the day, here we have auctions, pay as bid. The product you are selling is the power reserve and the energy you provide when the system operator is acting you. Okay. Participation, these services are very good for the characteristics of the BESS because can provide fast response services to build operations, offering primary reserve, secondary regulation, tertiary regulation in order to stabilize the frequency of the grid. Okay, and we have the third grand part, the capacity market. Capacity market is organized by the PCS. We celebrated one last year. It's a mechanism to ensure long-term supply security by remunerating available capacity. It's an auction for new units and for existing units. If you are a new unit or you are an existing unit, you can sign a contract from 1 or 17 years. It's a auction based on the standing clock, based as clear methodology. For example, at the end of the day, we have a starting price, but this price is going to be reduced. Okay. After you have the clearing price. Here you can see the numbers in the T5 2028. Sorry, 2028, correct? And the final clearing price was 244 zlotys per kilowatt hour per year. Okay. The next auction that will be celebrated in the next month, maybe the rating factor will be lower for the T5 2028 was 95%. But maybe in this auction will change, maybe 7.6%. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the profitability. If we need to talk about the profitability, one important thing is the investment cost, the investment cost and the operational cost. Okay. Regarding the CapEx, we have good news in the last years because the investment of battery storage system has dropped by more than 50% over the past 3 years. Even after the pandemic, we have prices more expensive, but the situation now is stable, and we recover the trend of reduction of the price of the batteries. Obviously, this is very good in order to contribute to the business model. Actually, nowadays, I would say that the projects I saw throughout 2024, like average, is around 580 zlotys per kilowatt hour, more or less, below this number. Depends on the size of the project, depends on the geography, depends on a lot of things. this price can be different. Okay. Another important thing is the OPEX, because the OPEX is not only the operation and maintenance. That actually, if we consider only the operation and maintenance of a battery storage system, is a cost very low. Here, the most important thing is the contract you are going to sign with the battery supplier in order to maintain the performance warranties for the entire life of the project. When I say performance warranty, I'm talking about the capacity, the degradation, the round trip efficiency, the degradation of the round trip efficiency, availability warranty. If you want to extend the product warranty, all the penalties you are going to introduce in this contract if your battery supply don't comply. It's a complex contract. I think it's the most important contract in the project, and to define a good strategy in order to know what of these KPIs for you are really important, and how to negotiate this LTCA contract is key, because at the end of the day, it's a cost every year that has an impact in the business model. Okay. Let's talk about talking about the profitability. It's very important to design or to size the installed power and installed energy, because at the end of the day, when we say, okay, my batteries are 150 euros per kilowatt hour, okay? Okay, but you are talking about useful power, you are talking about the installed power, installed energy. At the end of the day, these ratios are considering the total energy installed. For this reason, it's a very important parameter. Is the installed energy is the oversized light that allow me to comply with the useful energy in the point of interconnection, take into consideration the business model of the system and the optimal dispatching and so on. Okay, for the reason, minimum usable, the first part is to determine the minimum usable power energy in the point of interconnection according to the business model. This is the output of after analyzing the business model. But when we know the usable power and usable energy, we need to calculate the installed energy and power that you need to comply with this requirement. And it's important to see several KPIs that are important. Calculation of usable energy must account for the following factors: maximum depth of discharge, the DOD, and constant power. Calendar degradation combined with cycles per year degradation, discharge efficiency considering losses and auxiliary consumption, battery degradation, and increase the auxiliary consumption due to higher heat dissipation as a result of the aforementioned degradation. Correct? It's important to consider the DOD, the DOD in the design. It's important to consider that you can't charge in a constant power up to this limit, and in the opposite, If we have a maximum state of charge, it's necessary that it's allowed to charge in a constant power up to the maximum state of charge. Because if not, at the end of the day, your system will not be symmetric and you will be limited, okay? And you will have installed energy that you cannot use. Here also is very important to maintain the equalization of the batteries, because if not, some batteries will have a state of high different. For instance, I will not have a balanced project. And at the end of the day, with this taken into consideration of these parameters, we calculate the installed power and the installed energy to comply with the degradation of to comply with the requirement of the project. If we need to maintain the capacity to comply with a capacity auction, we need to consider the degradation, we need to consider the efficiency, we need to consider the degradation of the efficiency, and you need to consider also the oversize in the power to comply with the grid code, or in the energy in order to comply with the degradation of the batteries. Okay. For that, we have different strategies. Strategies like oversize at the beginning of the project, or doing augmentation maybe every 5 years or something like that. Here, I'm going to talk about a methodology to optimize the power and energy, considering a storage system that can need to participate in different markets. For example, we have a base that need to participate in the wholesale market, need to participate in balancing market, and need to participate in capacity market. Okay. How is the combination power energy that maximize the profitability of the project? The profitability of the project, considering also the technical restriction of the batteries as energy balance, state of charge management, RT, and state of health degradation. This is a complex simulation with a lot of iteration, with optimization function, in order to maximize the profitability of the project. We only need to introduce inputs as the capex for production on a yearly basis for the renewable plant is a hybrid project, and the forecasting of the prices. And the output that I get is the optimal size, the optimal operation of the system, the revenue stream, the optimal cycling, the degradation, and so on. Finally, in order to demonstrate you another real example, here we made the simplified exercise to see how is the sensitivity for the profitability of a project of 4 hours with different signal price. Okay. In the annual average spread, you have the spreads, the difference the battery can capture in the energy markets, the head, intermediary, or even in the energy of services market. And here we have the different values of capacity payment that the batteries can get from capacity market, or even for the capacity payment that you get from ancillary services. Okay. Saying that, we see that we participation only in a wholesale market. The profitability is not very good, but when but if we reach a very high spread, obviously this profitability can reach 8%. But we introduce scenarios of capacity payments. Obviously, the profitability of the projects increase a lot. Okay, here you have an example. To be honest, here we are considering taxes, cost development, interconnection, or financial costs. This is only an example in order to demonstrate you a sensitivity data analysis in order to see, in order to have an idea about the profitability of the project with different scenarios of price or capacity payment. Finalize, the sharp decline in batteries price over the past 2-3 years has significantly enhanced the business case in BESS, particularly in Poland. Profitability requires participation in multiple markets, such as wholesale market combined with the capacity market or ancillary services to ensure sufficient renewable stream. But multi-market participation introduces complexity, necessitating advanced optimization model for maximize revenues and system efficiency. Yeah, that is an important key in the future of the energy, to have a good optimizator in order to optimize the business model. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergio. Thank you so much for that practical side of the market. And Antonio, I think you wanted to quickly go through some last minute remarks. Is that correct? You can stay with your camera off if the connection is not very good.
Yes, I hope that now the connection could be a bit better.
Much better.
Sorry, because I didn't notice the quality of the sound while I was talking before, and I hope that was enough to understanding the key points. Yes, it's very interesting. The last slide by Sergio, looking how at the end you need mixing several revenues to make a profitable case, and how at the end here is considered the spirit and the capacity, but there are also the ancillary services mechanisms, or also in Poland private initiatives is very well considered, for instance, PPAs or PPAs with certified green generation. Then I think you don't need to fit also only in a cold Excel, but you need to talk internally in Poland what are the real ways and the player who can apply for that. And because I try to answer all the questions directly in the chat to avoid the noise problem, also to avoid delaying from timing. But one of the questions was interesting. All were interesting, okay. But one is what was especially for me interesting is the how can you make cable pooling with a cable with another company who is the owner of the first facility. I think that the grid connection permit owner or awarded is the one who need to coordinate the others, and you can apply directly to a public company to share the grid connection point with some others, but you need to join with them and to join also the ENS. Then they are letting the private companies to configure the points. Okay, that's a point. And apart from that, no, please, I will be very happy to continue answering question by email, or if you send me a list, I will attend also this. And I hope it was interesting, the info we were talking about here.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Antonio, for being here. Yes, we will send the remaining questions to you and Sergio. So if you would like to answer them back, feel free to do so. You will have the information available. And I want to thank everyone for being here today at this webinar. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you very, very soon in another of our webinars. And if you're interested in the Polish market, new webinars will be coming, so please stay tuned. And if you want to know more about our event in Poland, the 26th and 27th of February, let us know, or you can go to our website. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for our fabulous speakers today, and we hope you all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.